My 14-year-old is officially pregnant and having a child. And before you guys come for me, she has been in a relationship since she was 12 with the same guy. He is also 14, okay? So I don't want to hear any of the weird stuff, okay? So at first I was a little taken back when she said that her and her boyfriend were trying for a baby because she's 14. And I was like, girl, like, you can't handle a baby at that age. But she knows I really love puppies and I really love kids. And we talked about it and we sat down. She said she thinks she's ready and that she's mature and she's a lot more mature than the kids in her class. That she's been with him for 2 years and that they think that they're ready. And I brought up the concern, like, hey, you're in school. How are you supposed to go to school? And she said, well, Mom, you love kids. You can watch my baby during the day. And I sat around thinking, and I got lonely one night and I realized, low key, that's a great idea. So I gave her the green light. I told her if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But, like, I'll help you every step of the way. And within 2-3 weeks after telling her that, we just got the positive test today. And I'm about to take her to the doctor so that we can confirm it. But I'm excited. I'm about to be a grandma, you guys.
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai. May Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to the 140 and 4,000. It's the brother Amawan Pada from the GMS Denver camp. Doing a quick lesson in regards to this video that you just saw right here from World Star. And as you can see, the title says, Woman is facing criticism for telling her 14-year-old daughter that it's okay for her to become pregnant after her daughter asked if she would support. So you saw the video clip, right? Now, there's a few things wrong with this, man. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to address is that people are coming against her because of the age. All right. Now, we always teach here at Great Millstone according to the scriptures. Now, according to the scriptures, all right, you know, women were married off at a young age, man. Okay. In the ancient times, women were married off, you know, pretty much around the time they hit puberty. Okay, which would be like around 12 to 15 years old. That was a common thing according to the laws of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai and nature itself. All right, when a woman, you know, goes into puberty and she receives her period or whatever, that's an indicator that she's ready to reproduce. All right, her body is you know, producing eggs, and you know, that's an indicator that she's ready to reproduce, man, and forward on the legacy of another Israelite man. Okay, so anyway, yeah, man, a lot of people, they get really upset at this, man. They get upset at this, but let's go to Chat GPT and see what the AI has to say about marriageable age in the Bible. All right, so here it is right here. I asked Chat GPT, it says, what is marriageable age for women according to the Bible? All right. Now it says the Bible does not specify a specific marriageable age for women. Like, they don't have like a specific number, but it says, however, it does provide cultural and historical context that can help understand the norms of marriage during biblical times. In ancient Israel, women were often married shortly after reaching puberty, which could be around the ages of 12 to 15. This is inferred from various passages that discuss marriage customs and roles of women. For example, in the case of Mary, the mother of Yahushua, she was likely a young teenager when she became betrothed to Joseph. Do you see that, man? It's important to note that the concept of marriageable age can vary significantly across different cultures and historical periods, and the Bible reflects the customs of its time rather than providing a universal standard. But the standard is the Bible. But in this current society, all right, that's looked upon as being wrong. Okay. And you know, more than likely Joseph was a older man. All right. But even the Chat GPT tells you that, you know, women back then in our time, I mean in the ancient times, all right, in our culture, they were young, man. All right. Around the ages of 12 to 15. That's about the time where girls become women, biologically speaking. Okay, you see, and this society is so backwards, man. It's not even funny, but I do have to have a disclaimer on here, man. We're not telling you men to go out there and get no fucking 12-year-old, man. Don't do that, man. The elder apostles even say that hey, man, you're on your own if you do some shit like that. That's against the laws, man. We're supposed to obey the laws of the land, in regards to certain things. All right, we're in Esau society, okay? And the women nowadays, they're much different, man. They develop mentally much later in age. You know what I'm saying? Like a 12-year-old woman is not the same thing as a 12-year-old woman back in the ancient times. All right, they were much more mature back then. They were raised up to, be wives. All right, and it's not advisable to even consider doing that in this day and age, man. They'll throw your ass under the jail. All right. You see? So just a disclaimer, we're not condoning men to go out there and do that. But in the ancient time, that's what it was, man. All right? So anyway, let's go back to that video. Oh, also really quick, to make another point. The reason why that age was that young back then is because, first of all, it's better to have children at that age instead of being an old woman in your fucking late 30s trying to have a child. Your body has, become old and it's not able to facilitate childbirth as well as it would be when, the woman is at a younger age, man. Like after puberty, like around, the teenage years. Okay. And even in today's day and age, you got children having kids at young ass ages, man. Women being pregnant at 14. All right. That's a common thing even to this day, man. I mean, though it's frowned upon amongst our people, you see that happening a lot. Women in high school, pregnant. I've seen that when I was coming up, man. Okay, but nowadays we're in captivity, man, and it's hard to provide for your family at that age in this society, man. All right, the way things are, the economy, and just this hell that Esau's created, it's damn near impossible to start a family at that age, independently, in this point in time. So that's not advised, in this day and age, man, unless you have a, support system, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's beyond the point. Let's go to some of the comments in that video. All right, so let's check it. All right, first comment says fatherless home. All right, that's that's a good point too. This is why you need fathers in the house. You see, there it is. For everybody voicing their opinion, this is a TikTok skit. She does many of these to get people talking. And it could be a skit, but we're going to use it for edification's sake because this does happen in our society quite often. Okay. Let's see. Her life is ruined. Having a daughter seems to be the worst. Especially in this day and age. These women are out of control, man. Even the young women. Because they learn from these old sluts and harlots how to be a slut and harlot, man. So this generation is cooked, man. The women in this generation, especially here in America, Babylon the Great, through. All right. You have a daughter, you know what I'm saying? I feel for you. All right. Trying to get that EBT and welfare. And yeah, okay, so you see the point, man. So yeah. So they made the point of, a fatherless home, and I thought that as well, you know what I'm saying? Women are not meant to be the heads of household making big decisions such as that, man. In the ancient time, it was up to the father to give his daughter away to a man that he deemed to be fit. Okay, that was the ideal scenario. Not just letting your daughter choose any random dude who she wants to have a child with, man. Okay, we were all about legacy and forwarding our lineage, man. We were really, in tune with that. All right. So let's see. Let's read this. It says, well, I typed in, what laws are there pertaining to the father of a virgin according to the Bible? It says in the Bible, particularly the Old Testament, there are several laws and cultural practices that pertain to the father of a virgin, all right, virgin woman, especially in the context of marriage and sexual conduct. Here are some key points. Dowry and marriage. In Exodus 22, verse 16 through 17, and we'll get there too. it is stated that if a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed, meaning she's not, signed away to a man, okay, he must pay the bride price, dowry, and marry her. If her father refuses to give him to her, he must still pay the dowry. So that's going into, if a man take hold of a woman, right, according to our law, all right, and he, pops her, all right, she's a virgin, he has to pay the father 50 shekels of silver, I believe. All right. That's a big deal. You don't just, take a woman and just pop her, man. In the ancient time, that, marriage was a very, very, very serious thing. And if you take a woman and you get with her, all right, it's consensual and she ain't married to nobody else, you now are married to that woman and you are not to divorce her, except for fornication. If she's committing adultery on you, then, that's a punishable by death situation. But let's get Exodus 22 and verse 16. Yeah, you're supposed to take care of that woman and you got to pay the father, man. All right. In that video, you just saw the woman saying, oh, yeah, my daughter, she found this guy at school and she's just cool with her getting pregnant by him. That's not how shit went. That's out of order. All right. So here we have it pulled up in the Blue Letter Bible, the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. It says, and if a man, see if I can highlight it real quick for you. Hold on. All right, here we have it right here highlighted. All right, Exodus 22 and verse 16, it says, and if a man entice a maid or a young woman that is not betrothed and lie with her, you know what that means, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. All right, sex is marriage, man. And sex is when a man, deflowers a virgin. All right, cutting her hymen, you know what I'm saying? 17 says, if her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. You see, the father is involved in this whole process right here, man. You see, in that video clip, you didn't see no father in sight. It was just a woman, who is, not supposed to be making those type of decisions, allowing her daughter to get popped and have a baby by some random kid at her school, man. In the ancient times, the father would, know the other family, all right? And they would, consult with each other, man. The two fathers of both families, man. Okay, this is a big deal. It was two houses joining together, not just some random shit, some random hookup from school, So I just want to bring that out. I want to actually look at that word dowry really quick. All right, so let's go into that word dowry. All right, for edification's sake, okay.
Strong's H4119, Moher.
Okay, I believe it's mahar in the Paleo Hebrew, but it says purchase price for a wife, wedding money. You see, because it was a transaction being made between two families. You know what I mean? It was a big deal. Okay, now you got hookup culture and people just having random sex with motherfuckers nowadays, man. That's off. All right. We are royal people and we took the joining of households very seriously. And you don't see that now. Okay. The father was heavily involved in this process, man. And there was money involved as well. You had to pay for that, man. You break, you buy type of thing, man. You break her hymen, meaning you pop a virgin, you got to pay. And she's your wife. You got to take care of her, until death do you apart, man. All right, so back into the Chat GPT breakdown, analysis, should I say. It says, let's see. It says consequences of fornication. Deuteronomy 22, verse 23 to 24 discusses the situation where a betrothed virgin is found to have had relations or sex with another man. In such cases, both the man and the woman are to be stoned to death, as this act is seen as a serious violation of the marriage covenant. All right, that's true. Let's get that Deuteronomy 22, verse 23 to 24. All right, here we have the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and I have it highlighted right here. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 22. All right, now it says, and this whole, section right here, this chapter goes into many different, laws regarding, marriage between a man and a woman, right? But I'm gonna start at verse 22. It says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, all right, she's already spoken for, right? Then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. That's an evil thing, man. That's wicked. That's called adultery. All right. Once a woman is with a man and he takes her virginity, that woman's supposed to be with that man for her entire life, unless he dies. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's, the only way that a woman can get another husband, is if her husband dies. But other than that, she's, betrothed to that man. And if a man comes in and has sex with a woman that's already married to a man, all right, and she doesn't cry out, you know what I'm saying? Then, and she's consensual with it, then that man's supposed to die, as well as that woman that consented unto the adultery. That's disgusting, man. It's evil. And our society is running rampant with that shit, man. That's why you have all these broken families now and these confused ass kids, because adultery is promoted here, man. All right. The scriptures bring order. Now, verse 23 says, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring both of them. Then shall you bring them both out to the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not. All right. She didn't try to stop it. She was consenting to it, being in the city. And the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so shalt thou put away evil from among you. Okay, that's the point right there, man. All right. Adultery is a crime punishable by death according to our law, because it breeds confusion, and it's just really a destructive thing to a society. But I want to jump down. Let's read a little bit more. All right. We'll read verse 25. It says, but if a man find a betrothed damsel, all right, in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. All right. So this goes into a scenario in which a man, pretty much forces himself on a woman that's married. Okay. All right. And she's not with it. Then that man has to be put to death. All right, because he overpowered her. Now, verse 26, it says, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. So she was overpowered, man. She wasn't consenting unto that. All right. That's a woman that's already married. She probably like, no, I have a husband, and he just ignored it. Then that guy got to die, and she's going to be spared. All right. Verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. You see, there it is, the 50 shekels of silver. And that's a lot of money. All right, in the ancient times. And she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. You see, you can't just, divorce her, man. Okay, but that's the point right there. This is our laws concerning marriage. And according to that video, man, there's a lot of things wrong with that. All right, so the point really was about, the father being involved in this situation. All right, not verse 3. So bullet point number 3, it says protection of the virgin. The laws emphasize the protection of a virgin's honor, and that's a thing that's rare in this society, and the father's authority over her. The father had authority over his daughter, man. The father has a significant role in determining the marriage arrangements and the consequences of any violation of his daughter's purity. All right, these parents nowadays don't give a damn what their daughters are doing. You see? Just letting them, go out there, gadding abroad, getting popped by any man that lays hold on her, man. All right. The father made the decision of who his daughter would marry. He was able to pick out a young man, or a man that was going to be able to take care of her, man, who had honor behind his name, not just some random dude. All right. Verse 4. Not verse 4. Damn it, Salaki. All right, point number 4, it says Levitical laws. Leviticus 21, verse 13 through 14 outlines that a priest must marry a virgin from his own people, emphasizing the importance of purity and lineage in marriage. That's talking about, the Levitical priesthood, the Levites, all right, the tribe of Levi, all right. They were to marry virgins, man. That's the ideal situation for any Israelite man. You know what I mean? Okay. And you don't even see that nowadays, man. It's damn near impossible to find a virgin woman in Esau society because the laws of the Lord are not implemented. So we read the last point here. It says the cultural context of these laws reflects the patriarchal society of ancient Israel. Man, that means the society was ran by men. The men were in their order. All right. So societies that were patriarchal, especially in our society, it brought forth order, man. Women weren't ruling over men and making decisions, based off of emotions instead of wisdom. That's what you see today in this matriarchal society where the woman is put, as the head. And it's off, man. And everybody's suffering because of it. All right. Kids growing up all fucked up, because the father ain't in the home, man. All right. For the majority of our people, it says, where a father's honor and the family's reputation were closely tied to the behavior of daughters. These laws illustrate the importance placed on virginity and the father's role in the marital arrangements of his daughter in biblical times. And we are in biblical times to this day. All right. You got people that say, oh, those are the Bible times. Nah, we're still in the Bible times. It's just this world has went away from the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. You see, and it's going to get back in order when Yahushua returns, man. We ain't going to be having no, women with 5 baby daddies, man. That's a despicable thing, man, according to our customs. All right. So with that being said, I just wanted to show you that real quick, man. I came across that video on WorldStar, and I just wanted to do a video on it showing you how the Israelites are supposed to conduct themselves when it comes to marriage and giving their daughter away. All right. How fathers were heavily involved in that process. So I'm in this lesson right here. Hopefully you were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. A Kwam Yasharala in the Bible Ball. Shalom.